Okay, so today I'm gonna write some Metaprogram to embed the font and to embed the shader. So probably I want the shader code to be disableable if you're building like the debug version, because it's easier to debug the shader that way. Um, but otherwise, in the release version, everything's just going to be embedded, so you don't need to have like any external files. You can just copy this around wherever and you're good to go, assuming you have libc, and it should just be libc really. So um let us do that. It's probably not going to take too long, so we'll probably work on some of this other stuff too after that. So let us do geninks.c. We're gonna do some piggy work today. We're gonna use standard IO. We're gonna use our friend malloc. All this awful standard C library stuff. Actually, for the font, we're gonna use raylib directly. The raylib has like a function for exporting font data. If I'm not mistaken. So raylib our text has export font as code. Which means we just have to load the font and then we can it's a bit annoying, it just takes a file, so you can't just like export it however you like. It's just gonna give you a specific file, but that's probably okay. So we're gonna have our int main. We probably don't need any parameters for this. Let's do font. I wonder if a font needs window open. If it does, that's a little bit annoying. It's quite possible that it does, in which case we're about to find out. Geez, typing equals load font. Yeah, we're gonna open main and just see what we did here. Load font. So I'm gonna specify this in a different file, I think. Have a config.h, which is gonna contain a couple predefined file variables, I guess, for this. Now, whether or not we actually want this to be changeable, I'm not sure yet. So, like, let's actually just see right now what happens if we make this like half. Is everything like completely misaligned, or does it like work reasonably? Yeah, I mean, probably the font size can be adjustable. I don't see like too much issue with this. That's gonna like help with scaling if you can change that. So we'll make a config.h here, but we will pound define some values. It doesn't really matter where we include this, but let's just do it here. I was not done with main, so we're gonna go back to load font. Just want to copy this. Definitely did this after the window, but we'll see how this goes. This is gonna be font size. And let's just try this right now. So we're gonna do export font as code. And we're gonna export it to maybe I should have had like a folder called generated, but for now we'll just do fontinc.h. So we will add this to the build script after, but I just want to try this first. So we're just gonna cc. Well, actually, we're not gonna do that. I need to use the build script for this. So we will if-def this, or not if-def. We will put this in some if so it doesn't run every time. But we'll do that after. Well, first of all, we need to include config.h. Then we can just run this and see what happens. So Raylib wants a window open. That's a little bit annoying, but so to do that, we're gonna just do, I think there's like a way of setting the flags so that it's like minimized or something. Because we don't actually care about it. So we're just gonna do, it doesn't really matter. But there's like, so set window flags, there should be like a flag for that. So let's just see external Raylib. So this is something I added. By default now, I'm gonna be building in, I'm making it possible to build Raylib directly from the build script so that we don't have to, makes it easier to port it to Windows and stuff. You don't have to tell people to install a bunch of stuff. It also just makes it easier for development. Not really for development, but for making sure the correct version is shipped with the program. So minimize. So these, I don't know if you can just set this, but set window flags. What's it called? It's like some sort of flags, hints. Sure, I do it, right? Like, sure I'm just doing it in main. Um, the config flags. So possibly this counts. To set config flags, you can just set. So you can set it before you do a knit window. So we can use like the window hidden thinger. Flag window hidden. So that it doesn't like pop up, presumably, when you do this. Cool. We're gonna turn off all this junk as well. Now I'm wondering what the high DPI stuff does, but we're gonna ignore that for now. Okay, so we have fontinc.h now, which have a look at. Okay, so this actually gives you like a function here that you should call instead. So let's try this. This could be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so we're gonna do, this is gonna be probably just default, to be honest. So when we do here, we're gonna do exactly what it says here, which is load font ink. So everything looks fine to me. I don't see any difference here, which is exactly what we want, obviously. It means we don't have to like, you don't see anything here about loading the asset thing, which is good. So that's better. Now, let's actually do this without debug mode. I should specify this properly, but we'll just do this. So now, let's see. That's like a little bigger than I was expecting, but that's okay. Pops up and we got our font and everything's looking good, so that's good. Now for the shader ink, it's going to be a little different, and we're going to make sure that's in the git ignore. Oops. So next we're gonna do this with the shader. So we've got this. Really what I just want to do is read in the shader and using C code. I'm not going to use the Raylib stuff for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, probably we're going to use getLine, which I don't remember how to use. So fine. Read string until it encounters a character matching the delimiter character. It's like line pointer can change, so just you don't have to allocate this thingy. The application shall ensure that line pointer is a valid argument that can be passed as free, so you can set it to null. So, okay, so here's how you can actually just use it here. So, fopen, blah, blah, blah. While read is getLine. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna actually open two files here. So, shader file and file, out file. We're gonna do data file equals fopen. Actually gonna rename this shader, so picker shader doesn't really make sense. It should be called HSV lerper, hsvlerp.glsl or something. So that's all we're doing here, really. So we got that, and we're gonna do fopen. So we could have the color picker going, though it's not really helping anything right now. What did I do there? Oh, because yeah, and if I'm gonna move that, I need to rename it in the color picker. Picker shader. Do this. HSV lerp shader name. Then we're back to that working how it should have worked. Next, Metaprogramming. That is what we're doing. We're writing some code that generates code. HSV lerp shader name. And I never use this stuff, but yeah, obviously we just need to read it. And then out file is going to be the same thing. We're going to fopen shader inc.h in write mode. If we can't open those, we could just crash. I don't know. I'll check. Fine. Out file. Let's do that. I'll have to answer that later. That's not important. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this whole loopy thingy. I'll do all of this junk. It's called size t thread size len equals 0. So we're gonna do while read equals get line shader file. It's like some in weird backwards order. Does not equal EOF or -1. We are going to not do what it's saying here. We're gonna do first we're gonna skip over any white space on the line, I think, just to save some amount of useless data. So we're gonna do for let's make a new one. For let's do this. Wait, is it like null terminated? Including the delimiter character. Excluding null terminator. Let's just do s0 does not equal /n. S plus plus. If is space, we can do it this way. Well, I don't actually care about that. If not is space s, break. And then what we want to do is just do it just has to be null terminated. What a stupid interface. Oh, is it? I should be reading stuff more carefully. Including the terminating null. Okay, there is like a terminating null. Oh, sorry, the red value excludes the terminating null. No, I think you're right. I think it does include it gives you and a terminating null added when the delimiter or end of file is encountered. So we can just get rid of this and just do the classic while not s. You kind of need the actually you need like the /n anyways, so that's fine. If I guess the problem is I have to like replace the /n though with an escaped /n. Yeah, it needs to be. I need to escape /n, so that's a little bit annoying, but um, it equals there's like no other garbage in that file, so those ones, and then we're gonna do okay, so we're breaking out of this. It'd kind of be better if f puts was not I can use like f write, so I can only write the so actually let's make use of red as well then. Um should do the trick. Technically, we could check red, but so we're gonna do F right. I need to actually do it. I need to print a header and stuff first. So we're gonna do no, actually, it's a quick thing. Does load shader from memory? I think it requires null terminated string in Raylib. So let me see here. Load shader from memory. Load shader code strings. Yeah, so it needs them to be null terminated. Oh, I guess that's fine because we're just writing a. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll do f puts, and we'll go. Static character pointer HSV shader text. We're gonna call it global HSV shader text equals. I think that to think about this, it's probably fine to do this, and then we'll see about if I need a slash n after before this or not. So out file. And then we're going to do f right. So s red 1, red minus 1. I'll have to check some things here. So can't remember what happens when you pass a 0 here. Probably it's fine. Well, I actually don't need that in Raylib. So that's probably what I would do if I wasn't using Raylib for this. But since I am just using Raylib, I think it's fine if it's just a string. Oops, not file pointer. Out file. What is going on? So out file, and then we're gonna do. So I don't want to print the last new line. I want to do f put this. Also, I need to put a start quote here. This. Probably if red does not equal 1. So if red is greater than 1. Yeah. How am I doing? so I think this will getting us somewhere. F close out file, F close shader file. Let's see where this gets us. That's a bit annoying. So this probably needs this to find. Please typing 25. So F puts out file. No. Standard out. I meant to return here. Size T, obviously. Okay, there we go. So it did do something. It seemed to take a long time to do it, but shader inc.h. Okay, so this might be correct, but I need to I don't know why it took so long. That's kind of annoying. But anyways, I need to I meant to put like a new line after these. What am I doing? We're missing the starting quote for all of these. Yeah, right, okay. That's annoying. Um, I guess this is probably right. This should be correct. I need to put a semicolon at the end, obviously. I don't know why it's so slow. And I could like probably indent all of this. I don't know if that makes it any better. I think this is allowed though. Just see if that's allowed. Because if it is, then I'm gonna do that instead. Let's just include that in the color picker.c for now. Load shader from memory. Maybe I should call it fragment text. So let's see here. That looks like that's just working fine. So probably something like this is okay. Yeah, I don't see why not. Okay, so let's do that instead. Let's do this and then oops. Let's actually do this differently. There should be like an extra new line at the end of the file for it to be valid C code. That looks like that's just working fine, so I guess I don't need to rebuild to see that, but because this happens first. So anyways, then inks.c. Yeah, I'm not sure where the slowness is coming from that one, but anyways. Oh, it's not run, so yeah, never mind. We're gonna run it automatically from the build script, but so that's all looking good to me. Technically, we could skip this first line. Probably we should. I think if you just call it again, it would just give you -1, so this is fine. License notice. Why can I not spell license? Someone is tired. Okay, there we go. So that's a bit better. Don't want to like include useless code that doesn't do anything in the binary, right? Because it's just going to get embedded as a string. So that's looking good to me. Let's have a look at the binary size for that now. That's like, that didn't really change it, so that's okay. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna adjust this build script. So if so I don't know if you can check based on times here. You'd have to use do if file f1 refer to the same inode as has an older m time than has a newer n time. Okay, so actually we can use these. So we can use if hsv shader hsv lerp.glsl newer time than f1 newer time than shader inc.h. Just leave it like that. Then build that, finish, run that. Let us just do a quick echo here just to test this. So that's good, and then we're gonna touch HSV lerp, and we're gonna run that again. We're generating the includes, and then we go. So that's good. Okay. So probably I can strip this. Does that like actually shrink it? No. To make sure that it actually got stripped. Oh, it didn't because I didn't. Yeah, never mind. I didn't rebuild it, so that's okay. In debug, probably fine to be honest. Okay, so go to that. Let me see. So what do we want to do? We want to probably. So we want to take this, but we also want to launch the color picker, but we want to probably do load shader from memory only at not in here. Only if we're not in debug build. So usually I don't want to embed stuff, but embed like if defs, but I think it's fine here. I don't know. Probably fine to just leave it like this. if to find bug, we load the shader from the actual file. Otherwise, we load it from the include file. That's fine. And then here, we're going to do this. HSV lerp shader name. Da, da, da. Probably this can come into here as well. Probably all of this can just go here. That doesn't matter. This is the debug one. The debug one is still going good. And if we see somewhere here, font, decompressed data, file IO, here we go. So here it loaded the shader file correctly in the debug version. And in the main version, it doesn't do that, obviously. So we're going to and we're not going to include this hunk. We're going to fix that one. Probably just delete that line, to be honest. I don't see any reason we would need that line. So, I'm not even sure we need like the font size on the context. Cool, so that's good. We need to add geninks.a.c. We need to v.getIgnore and add shader inc. We need to probably this. I don't know if I want to do the suck list, whatever. It's not suck list thing, but I think I'm not gonna do that. Or maybe I could just do it. It's not that hard. If file exists, if -s config.h. I'm gonna move some other stuff there as well, like the default colors, probably. Of course wait, what? Right, that should go up here. Okay, so I did do that, right? Oops, and then be good. So get CM. Generate all like that, I guess. So that's that. Thought I had somewhere here a flag for not. Oops, unused function. Don't warn on unused functions in debug build. Okay. Next, what do I want to do here? So we're gonna open this notes here. So we have done this. Now embeddable in Raylib, this I think is wrong. So all of this these two things are just completely wrong. If you were to embed this in another program, you would have to yourself draw the title bar and a close button because there's nothing that the color picker itself could do about that. So those two are wrong. Draw a background rect instead of clearing the background. That is doable. So technically you could. No, I think that's just doable. So let's try that. So we're gonna set in main.c. We're gonna. Sure, we don't even need to do this. One thing I want to do as well is, oops. Actually, what I want to do is pass in the DT. And just store the DT. Possibly the mouse position as well. And this clear background obviously shouldn't really be done here. But for now, I'm going to, well, okay, I'm going to move this. To here, but I'm going to, I don't need to comment it out. I'm going to do another one that's just going to clear it to pink. Like, what is is it vector or vector 2 in RayLib? It's vector 2. So then in here, we're going to do get frame time and get mouse position. Not get mouse. Oh yeah, it's get mouse position. Get mouse position. Okay. Make sure that's still building. Typical terrible C thing. Out of curiosity, your test man page was different than mine. This is, which one is this? Oh, this is S-based test. I can like link that. Source, not source, core, S-base. Technically, I'm not calling test directly, but usually the shell will, it can actually check what does, how do you, like built in, I don't know, anyways. Yeah, so that's the S-based test I'm just using. I usually also just have the, right. Can't remember how you, I thought it was like built in, but like built in tells you if it's built in, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. The test arguments apply regardless of if it's using a shell built in or not. So, okay, this should still just be working fine. Besides the fact that we're not drawing a background. So that's, I mean, that's kind of what we want. So let us just draw a background ourselves. So we're gonna do in drawing mode right now. It's just like gonna be draw rectangle, I guess. Draw a rectangle. Technically we need like the window position as well for this to just work how I'm wanting it to work. For now, I'm just gonna hard code it as 0, 0. Context to window size dot this under here. Window size dot width, window size dot height, context to background. So that is pretty much set up for that, but we also need to know what the window position is. And whether or not we actually need to store that, I think we... Oh, you know what? We probably do. That's a little annoying. Maybe I'm not even gonna call it window position. I'm just gonna call it position. Uh, I guess that's not even a vector too. Yeah, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna make sure it's a vector too. Yeah, this is my primary environment. Like my laptop is basically exactly the same thing, except it's not running Gentoo. I'm actually becoming like less of a fan of suckless stuff over time, but I'll just rewrite it myself into something I like. Um, this DT is in like a totally random place. I don't know. But we'll think about where to put DT after. This is not the right file. Also, welcome to the stream, Rumble, Tom Jum. Okay, I'm gonna call this DT mouse window position. I'm not sure why you would say that. It's like there's nothing that weird about space. It works most programs just or sorry, most existing shell scripts just work with space, so okay, so we're gonna pass in just a 0 vector for that, but that's okay. You like your warm, fuzzy GNU blanket. I'm not really sure what the GNU blanket is offering you, to be honest, but um, that is totally fine. I think if I want this to just be embeddable, I have to offset everything. Actually, if everything is just relative to this upper and lower rectangle, which I think it is, we can try and see how that goes for us. Um, Probably already have a variable called position somewhere in here. I'll have to need to compress some of this. I don't. That's good. Well, actually, do color picker, so I actually don't need to I don't need that because I'm pretty sure everything here is just correct. So I can't remember if Raylib lets you do that. It might not. Okay. Yeah, so let me see here. Oops. Okay, we're gonna do this as upper dot position dot x, upper dot position dot y. So this doesn't really answer the question that well. So let me, because those are just still 0 right now. So let's actually set these to something different. 2020 to just be like a 20 pixel offset, presumably, for everything. And I should check that I'm still clearing. So I mean that does look correct, but I need to still do that clear screen just to make sure that everything is correct. Or the clear color rather. Okay, this needs to not be here anymore. Oops. Okay, so we're gonna just do this above here. Clear background ink. So yeah, so that's correct actually. So everything is just being drawn relative to those two rectangles. So that was a lot easier than I was expecting it, to be honest. So that's nice. Same thing with here. So that means that you could just embed Raylib or embed this into any random Raylib application. Now, we're gonna go to this clear background. Oops, not that clear background. This one. And we're gonna go back in here and set this back to 0. And presumably that's everything we need to just embed Raylib into a different Raylib or sorry, to embed the color picker into some random Raylib application. To do that by grabbing one of the examples, I guess. So that is looking good to me. Let me see here. This I could technically draw in our font, but that's fine. I guess I'm not. I am building the debug run, right? There's like a what happened to our FPS? Oh, because we're just drawing over top of it. Oops. So we can use the hot reloading to fix that. Probably this should just go at the end rather than at the start. There's our FPS back. Okay, so color picker is good. Main.c is good. All that is looking good. Allow color picker to be, or make it possible to embed. You know, there could be like a few other things that might make this less than ideal for that right now, but so far I think it's fine. That's cool. I'm actually a little curious, so I'm gonna launch this in the debugger and we're just gonna run. And I just want to look at the struct here, the color picker context. I want to see where the holes are, if there is any holes. Let me, how can I just drag this over here? It should be visible on the stream. So this is all good. Then there's like a 4-byte hole, which actually means that we could just put the DT there and it would be fine. And that would probably get rid of. Surprisingly, that's the only hole besides some padding at the end. That's kind of funny. So yeah, we'll just move DT there. Close that up. I don't know how that happened to work out like that, but it did. So oops. So if we run this again, color picker context. So we got another one. Little bit lower. I think if this was above the render texture, it would be fine. That was like 16 byte, and then this would be another 16 byte, and then these are all 4. It's like usually what you want to do with if you are trying to make sure these are all you don't want to put a ton of effort into like making sure there's not a bunch of random holes in your structs is to just put big stuff first, but that's not always going to work, and it's not always the best thing to do anyways. So put the shader there, render texture, blah blah blah. I don't know why that's like all screwed up in this mode, but anyways. So dropped like 8 bytes off the side, got rid of both padding. So actually it turns out that the alignment wasn't that screwed up anyways. Um, this is like getting kind of big though. It might be worthwhile to try to get rid of some stuff, though not sure. Why is like this so big? Folks, we're just storing all the colors as V4s. That's fine. Like this probably should have been at the start, but I guess it's a character buffer, so what's the pointer? Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, so there's that. Oops. Then next, so let's take the win for that as well. So then, right, so let's open this notes so we can get rid of this. We still got a couple things here. One thing I want to do first is I wrote for a different program. I didn't actually clone yet, so I'm gonna have to do that. It's didn't pull like the updated version. Didn't even have that branch anymore, so let's delete that. Yeah, I don't care about that. Okay, so here we have a bunch of other code, but that is fine. Do text input function is basically just adapted from the color picker besides this other code I added for guessing the cursor more better. So I'll go over that in here. Where's this guess? Okay, so we have delete this kind of, you know, fudge factors. I mean, it's kind of fine, but text box extra x, we need to add that. I believe it's like 10 or something, but that is wherever we're drawing a text box. So like wherever we're checking if the cursor is overlapping, so it wouldn't be in here. It'd be in like a caller for do text input. So here collides. Oops. So we have test position, this rectangle, this VR. Is this VR rect? Or is it defined? Ah, it's in the get slider subrecs. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Something about that looks a little weird. Draw a rectangle, lines EX. Shoot, I shouldn't have hover P. That was just like renaming some of this stuff, so let's just fix that. Cursor P, cursor blah blah blah. Just need to fix that. But first I'm just gonna set this to 10 so this compiles. Okay, so that's fine. Let's launch this. Let's go here. So we have these, like, why? I guess we were already just accounting for that by making this have enough space after it or something. That's a little weird. Let's try it with the hex one then. Where did I put that draw rectangles thing here? Here to that. Hex collides. Hex rectangle right. Oh, so that actually isn't even that's not even a thing we have. So I probably don't need that parameter at all in this code. I think that was just something I needed in my other program because of how the labels and stuff are being drawn. So, okay, so do text input here. So we're gonna get rid of this text box extra 0. Yeah, we don't need that. That's weird, but okay. Oops. Okay, I'm just not. I thought I saw something there. So this just works. I think it just works. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't really work that good, actually. Maybe the 10 is good. So, like, for this one, it works, like, really well. For this, um, yeah, I think that's fine, actually. I don't know. I don't really see an issue. So, let's just talk about what's going on here, I guess, first, then. So, we basically, when there's been a new click, we set the cursor to -1, and then we come into this section of the code. Um, we calculate an x boundary. So we have a rectangle. This rectangle is the full size of this text box. So then we multiply it by what so this hover p gets stored as like the percentage of the text box that you just clicked in. Like what percentage the mouse was located at. So we get like an x boundary. Then we say while and so this x offset is like basically like an extra correction to make it so that when you click, there's like a bit of extra um, base basically. How can I explain it? Just ignore the x off for now. So assume x off starts at 0. We loop through all the glyphs on that in that buffer. So whatever this printed text is. Then we go and we grab like the advance, which is like one of the properties of the font character that's stored in the raylib font. If it's equal to 0, we just use the width of the rectangle that glyph is supposed to use. Otherwise, we just use the advance. Technically, you should include like a scale here, but I don't really think that scaling fonts is a good idea, so I just use the correct like one scale is 1 as it were for everything here. So we wait until we get to the boundary, and then once we're at the boundary, we know that that index is what the cursor should be set to. Now, without this X offset, basically, like if you click, so like basically what this offset does is it gives you like some leeway where like if you click in the middle of the character, um, like this is basically an approximation of the half width of the character. Maybe I should even call it like half character width, text half char width. Instead. It's like if you just so if you click like in the middle of the character, if you're like to the left of the center of the character, the cursor goes to the left of the character. If you're to like the right of the center, it should go to the right. Um, and it mostly helps near the front of the rectangle because like the front of the rectangle is where this text starts, and so it's kind of hard to put a cursor at the start if you don't have like some amount of like extra padding to help you out. So yeah, that is what that is. Text, whatever. I'm gonna call it that. Um, well, since we're only using this in one place, I'm actually gonna move this to here. At IDEX0. Okay, so we got this going. So what's that? That's just this stuff. Um, for finding input cursor. Okay, so you can still like put the thing on either side of this like period now and stuff. It's good. So we're gonna well, I'm going to use the washroom quickly, is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so we're not going to do what's here right now. We're going to colors. We're gonna set these, move these some of these colors. We're gonna move the foreground and background. Oh, those are random colors. That's kind of annoying. Okay, that's fine. To the config. Let's do it this one for now, and I'll add it. Foreground, background. I'm still like debating if I want these as feel like it's better if they're just stored as um, floating point, but we'll see. Oh, it actually was the background. Okay, so we're doing color. Color. That's gonna be for these. Oops. Values in this file are just used for initializing the oops. Initializing the context in main. Okay. Those ones we're gonna do. Probably gonna make another one for the cursor color as well. Now those are just gonna be the same thing, but this might screw up all the alignment if I do that. It was kind of a dumb decision to do that first, but I did it, so um pretty much this is kind of useless, but anyways, we'll do it and we'll just do it. Okay, so there's that. Color picker, hover color. So that is exactly what we don't want. This should be between cursor color and background. This is hover color. This should be correct, this one. It's actually, let's just set this to pink for now, just to help us out here and see what's going on. Make sure these are different. This is still that, and then that's like a different magenta color. I think maybe that's even more clear. So yeah, that was the correct place that just needed to be changed. Okay, so I think I'm gonna probably take the win here, and it's just while we're doing this, just make sure I didn't do something stupid again. Okay, good. So we are going to add color picker. We're just gonna check this. Add the color picker, add the main, and add that. That's fine. Oops. Let me think. That's good. Oops, we need to yeah, we need to add that. Okay, so do it this way. And this might be a problem for. I need to check if Jennings can still be built. This is used by Jennings for generating include the embedded font for generating fontinc.h. Probably just do it like this. Okay, so looks like I just built that fine, to be honest. So presumably because those are not. Oh right, so those defines are not like actually being used in this file, so it doesn't matter. They don't get expanded, so those types don't need to exist. Okay, so we're gonna do so that should be good for me. So let's take a look. So summarize what we did today. It's more relevant if we build the release version, to be honest, but so we wrote this Metaprogram for generating two include files. One which is what is always being used for this font now. So this font never gets loaded from disk at runtime. It just gets loaded. It just gets built into the program directly. And then it also generates a shader include so that if you're not doing the debug build, the shader that generates these sliders and this like picker area gets embedded in the application as well. So you don't have to load that at runtime either. That means that you can just copy paste this. So like already raylib in the non-debug mode is like statically linked into the library. And I will have to answer that in a second here. And that means that we can I'll answer that. Sorry. And that means that you can just copy paste this binary wherever and it will just run if you have libc available, of course. That's pretty cool, I would say. As for everything else, yeah, so that is that. If I stream tomorrow, which I might, we will probably tackle scaling, which may or may not just work out of the box. I have a feeling it might, besides the font. The font, well, we'll see. We'll see. The font maybe we just require you to change the font size in the config.h. These other two things I'll probably just look into myself a little bit more in the debugger, but we'll see. So, thank you for watching. You see what's going on here on Twitch. And I will see you all next time. Bye.